alright, the end has to start somewhere, right? So what better way to close out my 4th Gen posting than with the TPX 4th Gen finale tournament. So with the May 20th deadline approaching, you know, I would have liked to have seen us have some sort of nice big YouTube-wide tournament like this to close out 4th Gen. Probably organized through Xerxes' channel would have been the best way, but once it got within 2 months, you know, a tournament that big with difficulties in communicating with opponents and whatnot, that's just not really feasible. But I said at the very least, we need to, just as the TPX community, have a tournament, you know, a smaller tournament just of us. You know, we all love 4th Gen, and we want to, you know, send it out, you know, play it one last time seriously before it's actually completely, totally gone. So that's what this was. And we kind of lollygagged on it, and, you know, the Tournament of Grace Ideas from a long time ago, after that thing, I told Blah to make sure I never organize a tournament ever again. Or at least never host one, and that is his duty, but I don't consider myself to have actually hosted this thing, even though I did spearhead it and, you know, kind of light the fire under it, get the discussion going, and so forth. Some people would probably say that I did host it, but I felt it was more community ran, personally. So, anyway, so we had a Google Doc spreadsheet. You just enter your name in a row and a column, and then everyone does that, so of course there's a cell for, actually 2 cells, for matching yourself and your opponent. You just go on the Google Doc and type the result, and, you know, kind of all nice and easy, lemon squeezy. And we just decided, because it wasn't going to be too many people entering in this thing, it's just going to be round robin, everyone plays everyone, you know, let's play a lot of games. That's kind of the point of this. So that meant, you know, we didn't have to worry about round structures. Round 1 you play you, round 2 you play you, and, you know, we didn't have to wait for match results to get in. It could be very ad hoc because, you know, we don't have too much time left, so let's, you know, do everything as quickly as possible. Felt that was the best way to do it, so. And we get the most games played, so it was kind of win-win. As far as the format goes, we thought about either, you know, standard OU, bring whatever you like, or the more rigid, just, you know, MixTier 222 OU/BL UU NU type thing. And we decided to go with the latter, just following Smog on Tiers, even though we kind of don't like those, especially not me personally. But anyway, we decided to go with those. And so yeah, that's the result of that. So we're just going to have everyone play everyone, and then the best certain number of records moves on, depending on how many people we get. You know, there were people who came and went as, you know, Wi-Fi difficulties were certainly present. You know, 4th Gen only uses WEP Wi-Fi, so that's, of course, going to be an issue for some people. And so we had, you know, people coming in, people dropping, etc. But ultimately, we ended up cutting to a top 4. So, you know, of course, record goes first, and then if you're tied for record, then it goes by differential first, which was slightly interesting. You know, since we have everyone playing everyone, we could very easily do head-to-head to determine that. But we decided to do differential first, probably because of my influences of, you know, shortly after this ended, we were about to start the GBA Season 2, so, which is currently now underway. So, yeah, I guess that's going to about do it for the tournament rules. Other than that, it was pretty much just, you know, standard stuff going on. I guess if there's anything I missed, I'll put up either as annotations here and or in the description. So with that, let's get the first battle underway. And who else would I rather lead out against than the Master of Stall himself, coming out of retirement for one last tournament series, Diamond Brother Makar. And yeah, this is going to be probably his last series of 4th Gen battles, or any Gen battles potentially, so we shall see. But we're going to lead out with Needle Queen. Tronbon is the only thing I've bred for leading ever, as I've probably stated before. And Dragonite comes out turn 1. Last time we saw this thing was in the draft tournament, where it came out too late and beat the Togekiss. Already had up, I think, 2 nasty plots, and was just kind of tearing through everything, and it was pretty glorious. But anyway, so it's going to lead off Superpower this time, predicting a switch, and I don't switch. I'm not quite sure how much Draco is going to do to Tron, but it is indeed Life Orb, so it's just Life Orb, Smash Face, Mixed Knight, probably Pack and Roost as well, because that seems like a Makar thing to do, of course. And we get up Rocks for it, which is pretty alright, but there's about a 95% chance he has Starmie, so I do not expect those to stay on the field, but that is why we have a backup Stealth Rock setter as well. So Tron's still at decent amounts of hit points, and I think I'm fairly content to maybe set up a layer of T-Spikes. Earthquake's not going to do it. There's no reason to taunt this thing, really, so it looks like we're just going to stay in and try to get it some T-Spikes in case he doesn't have Starmie on that about 5% chance, and Tron gets critted and killed, which crit probably didn't matter. That is a Life Orb Mixed Knight, and I don't know which focus it has on the EVs. It may just be max in both and no speed. I forget exactly how Makar runs his, but anyway, that is a dead Nido Queen, and yeah, so my hazard setter, at least the one that he knows about so far, is gone. So it would be, maybe I can get Starmie dead later if he has it. Then he'll, sacrifice it off because I've already spun. His hazard setter's gone, and then I can bring in my second Stealth Rock user. But anyway, right now his offenses are in tatters, so this seems like a decent chance to go into probably my best option to set up at this point, which is going to be Calm Mind Slowbro. And so we are going to set up a Calm Mind, and it brings in a Clefable. And this Slowbro, I think, is I think it's actually modest. I forget if it's max special attack, but it's a pretty offensive Slowbro. But our two moves are Shadow Ball and Surf. So Shadow Ball, of course, in this generation, Clefable is normal type, so is immune to Shadow Ball, so we can't get those tasty special defense drops. And Surf, I could probably Calm Mind up enough that Surf would be able to kill it off, since it's Clefable. It's not exactly Blissey over here. But at the same time, I could get myself Toxic, and that is not something that I'm interested in doing. So we're going to double switch here, and he's going to bring in Starmie to get a spin up as I drop in, trying to trap the Clefable. I bring in Dugtrio. I'm hoping that that's going to be his answer to the Slowbro, and if I can trap it and get it killed, then maybe Slowbro will then be good to go. Unfortunately, this Dugtrio, I believe, is adamant, so it's not going to be outspeeding Starmie, and probably can't kill it in one hit regardless anyway. So right back into Slowbro we go, as he just goes straight for the Surf, not wanting to mess around, just in case I am faster and can maybe 2-hit KO. And as I aforementioned, we have Shadow Ball to hit this thing with, super effective. We've got exact matching types here, and hoping Shadow Ball will do a lot, since again we are modest, and we'll see how much it does. And he just wants to go ahead and get spin up for sure. And then comes a Shadow Ball, and this Shadow Ball does some considerable damage. I am very, very pleased with that much damage, especially considering that's unstabbed and unboosted. So there you go. Really makes me tempted to maybe stay in and go for another one, and maybe he will just let Starmie die, but probably not, as he's got other things that can be certainly switched in. So if it did a little bit more damage, I'd be alright going ahead and using Surf instead, but it did not do enough damage, nor did it get a special defense drop, which Shadow Ball is notorious for doing. So looks like we are, however, just going to stay in. And in comes Gastrodon, so more bulky special things. So Fake Man is just not pleased at this juncture right here, and does pretty much nothing to D-Bro's Gastrodon. Of course, max special defense, and I know D-Bro's Gastrodon, and I know it likes to run Toxic, so that's going to completely ruin a Calm Mind Slowbro, and I'm not interested in taking that at all. So, what can we go into to take a Toxic, or take whatever Gastrodon wants to do and do something to it? Well, everything is affected by Toxic except for Grenade Man, so that's what we're going to go into here. I kind of hate to reveal that, hey, I've got a second hazard setter, but he just goes for a middle ground Ice Beam, predicting me to go back into something else. So this is actually the first thing I've seen since he killed the Nido Queen, and then I just had Fake Man in since then, I think. No, also Dugtrio. Anyway, so he's just going to go into Dragonite, was he get rocks back up, so at least we'll force Starmie back in at some point to switch. And then, obviously this thing could have Fire Blast. Yeah, Fire Blast, not Fire Punch. Fire Blast, which is going to roast this thing in one hit, of course. There is no Super Sturdy in fourth. But we do have Fake Man to take Fire, and I suppose I have Fortress to take Draco. It's not going to take it that well, despite being resisted. But we can kind of do some stuff and hope things work out. So if I switch the Slowbro into Draco Meteor, it'll probably get 2-hit KO'd by stuff, so that's not going to be good. But we are going to go ahead and switch in and see if he wants to go straight for Fire, and he does not. He makes the correct prediction, goes for Draco Meteor, but we get a nice avoid right there. So quite pleased about that. Then I guess that sort of makes up for the crit. Probably not, because the crit probably didn't matter. Whatever. Anyway, so here we are in here, and right now I'm still kind of staring at a Draco Meteor, which is probably going to do a lot, but I feel like Slowbro can take it. I am Calm Mind, so I'm hoping that we can maybe get a Calm Mind up at some point. The other thing that we could do now that I'm in here is just slack off and reduce, and then of course he's going to have his special attack. So that's what I decided to do, as Gastrodon just comes in and gets some more lefties gain, and it's pretty much a wasted turn, and now he's got the thing in that he wants in, so that worked out pretty well for him. Once again, we have Gastro here, and I can switch in Fortress again, but Fortress is not going to enjoy repeated stab Earth powers coming in neutral on his lower special defense, and Fortress also can't really do too much else from there. He hasn't set up rocks on me. I've already set them up on him. At least now we know that D-Knight can't come in without taking rocks damage like it just did last time. So anyway, gonna go right back into Fortress and see what we can do, and he's gonna go instead into Starmie. So here we go. Starmie is kind of low, and I suppose I could switch back into Slowbro here, but then I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit, I suppose. Expecting a spin more than anything, as that's one thing that Starmie does. It tends to win this matchup, at least in 4th Gen, where there's no Volt Switch, and force Fortress out, and then just get a spin up and go from there. I think, though, I'm going to be a little crazy here. This is my, I believe, regular Fori. We are, in fact, just going to Earthquake as he predicts a switch and goes for Toxic, so Fortress gets off completely unscathed, and we pick up a clutch crit on the Starmie. So not only does he waste his turn with Toxic, we get a crit Earthquake, which I am quite sure that we probably needed every point of damage on that crit in order to kill that Starmie. And good job, Fortress. You actually killed something without it being super effective. And now he's got rocks up to stay, so quite nice. With that being done, I definitely feel like I've got some advantage, at least right now, just because I've kind of won the Hazard War. I've got some information about the stuff on his team. And still waiting in the wings, we've got a Scarfed Gardevoir and Buster Rod G. I forget which Buster Rod G it is, but we will find out later in the game, I'm sure. So given that he just had something terrible happen to him, I'm expecting the safe play, and indeed he does go for the safe play in the form of the Fire Blast there. And I can't believe I said that. Anyway, so here, once again, I think I'm just going to slack off in case he wants the Draco and attempt to kill me from that much HP, which I'm in-game, I'm thinking, oh, Draco will probably do about 60%. You know, Slowbro's really bulky. I'm max HP. So we're both just going to trade roosts here, or trade 50% recovery moves here. And I'm back up to full, and he pretty much is as well. And here is where I think I can probably take a Draco Meteor, Calm Mind up, and then I'll be able to live a second one, especially since he'll be at -2. And from there I can proceed to recover up and maybe make something happen. Which, of course, he still has the Clefable and Gastrodon left, so I'm not sure why I'm even attempting to do this right here. But anyway, so here comes the Draco Meteor. And I expect this to stop. Nope, stop. It doesn't stop. And I get down to 24 life. And, oh, there, that's nice. That's nice that I have a Calm Mind. Lefties puts me back up to 48. I'm +1. He's at -2. I still severely doubt that would be enough to live a Draco Meteor. So, unfortunately, of course, we also do not have Regenerator. So, since that's, you know, one of the new toys from 5th and beyond. So, we're rocking the own tempo. And we're going to have to get out of here. I can still salvage this Slowbro, though. It's going to be faster than Tethys, the Gastrodon, so I can still potentially slack off on that. I'll probably get myself toxic in the process, but I guess I'd rather have that and at least have it around at usable hit points than just whatever. So anyway, in comes Gardevoir, and it does have HP Ice. I'm going to Trace Center Focus, and what is this nonsense of Meteors hitting Gardevoirs? That's not cool. That's not cool. Anyway, Gardevoir, despite this being a maximally offensive Gardevoir, max special attack, max speed, timid, still takes under half from Draco Meteor, which, I guess that makes sense because it is now -2. Anyway, yeah, that makes much more sense. Still, though, that would be roughly about the same amount of damage that Slowbro would have taken, so whatever. Anyway, so we go ahead and Trick, because I want to get something stuck on something, and Clefable comes in, so it's now a Scarf Clefable, which I'm quite fond of, and we pick up some leftovers, so that's going to be pretty nice. I do lose my Scarf potential, But given that that's probably a, it's not going to be maximally, I don't imagine it would be a plus speed nature, so Gardevoir is probably going to outspeed Dragonite anyway, so that's why I felt okay going ahead and tricking there, albeit tricking him a Scarf, that would then make him faster, so, but, trick Scarf, Wall comes in, good stuff, so, I make the mistake, though, of switching in Ground Man just right away, and instead of realizing this thing's probably not a threat, I still, however, feel the need to trap and KO it, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Damage variation looks like we took about, 88 points, so we should be able to live another one, and I'm kind of hoping this is going to 2-hit KO. Unfortunately, I believe we are also Life Orb, so because of Life Orb, we're not going to be able to 2-hit KO, and instead we're going to go back into Mega Man coming in and tracing Magic Guard, so just in case we get burned or something, we can avoid damage from that, at least temporarily. And, we still have max special attacks, so we're going to sling Psychics around and see what happens. We do have all of our moves available, and he's got another wall in the form of Spiritomb. Not that, we shouldn't expect him to have multiple walls, because that is, of course, what myself and him both like to do, although we don't actually have too many walls on this team. We have Grenade Man is kind of the only real wall. One's a tank, and then everything else is either hazard setters or offensive, I guess. So, anyway, not offensive enough, clearly, and Spiritomb is going to pose some severe problems, as it's going to have stab, super effective stuff against Slowbro, which, we could hit it with. Ground Man, it's going to have Sucker Punch for that, and it's already taken considerable damage, so it's probably not going to be able to get off a move of its own, unless maybe we Sucker Punch it first, but then that's still not going to do enough, so this is definitely something I wish I had Toxic Spikes up for. Unfortunately, I do not, and we double switch here, and thankfully Dragonite's taking more damage from Stealth Rock. Unfortunately, he gets in on this thing again, and from here, I'm pretty sure Fire Blast will kill this thing or Slowbro, so I've now backed myself into a bad corner, and it's not gone well whatsoever. So fully just expect he's gonna go Fire Blast, but I feel like I need this thing in order to combat the Gastrodon. It's the only thing that can take a Toxic. So we're just gonna get Gardevoir back in again, and thankfully he goes for Roost. I was fairly decently confident I could live a Fire Blast. And then, of course, we do have, pretty sure we have HP Ice. So that is definitely tempting to go for. I don't think I've seen too much that I'm going to be terribly fussed about getting HP Ice stuff on it. But instead, we are just going to go Psychic instead, as he stays in and Dracos and kills Mega Man. So that didn't work out well at all. Based on Psychic doing... where's my calculator? Based on Psychic doing 50%... let's see, that would be 135. Hidden Power would have done, looks like Hidden Power Ice probably would have picked up the KO there. So that was not played well. That was not played well, given that Psychic did about half. I think HP Ice would do about because Stab Psychic is less than 140, so times 4. Yes, definitely. So that was the wrong play, most definitely. And furthermore, he switched Spiritomb in last time, so I'm not sure why I went for Psychic anyway. I guess potentially get a decent hit off on Gastrodon if he wanted to go into that. I don't know. Anyway, so here's Buster Rod G. This Buster Rod G has 289 HP, which would imply Life Orb to me, but I think this is actually my my old original one from 2007, despite HP Ice Ape kind of being 2007 himself. This is my original one. Swords Dance, Rock Slide, Blaze Kick, and of course Close Combat. So we can certainly threaten him out with Rock Slide right here. But I'm going to go ahead and pull a Swords Dance first, as he makes sure to break the Sash with Superpower. And can now proceed to just get out of there. And it hurts, and it doesn't quite bring me down to Sash, but it brings me down low enough that even with resistance, I'm pretty sure Ape cannot live a Sucker Punch, and that's going to be a considerable problem. So Rock Slide comes and does, thankfully, just enough. Although I'm actually now in Blaze range, so that doesn't really matter. We can 2-hit KO with Rock Slide, but Blaze Kick is going to be sufficient. I'm pretty sure it's Blaze boosted, etc. And I don't think there's really anything that Clefable can do, so he's probably just going to sack it off, as Blaze Kick is going to severely hurt pretty much everything. being, of course, boosted by Blaze. So, there we go. Get that thing out of the way, and see what he wants to drop in now. Probably Spiritomb, and I'm going to have to dance around this thing so bad. PP stall, Sucker Punches, something like that. D9, I think, is going to be above a hit, or is it? No, because it took 50% from Psychic. Probably, well, you can't go for Rock Slide flinches there, Cooper. Dragonite has Inner Focus. Who needs multi-scale? So anyway, so obvious Sucker Punch is incoming. If he's bluffing Sucker Punch, I could definitely kill him off here, and then we would be good to go. But if he is not bluffing Sucker Punch and does in fact have it, then I would really like to save Infernape for later. It's just going to be able to outspeed most everything and do some good damage. So it's once again has Blaze Kick ready to go. So tough decision. There is no game timer, of course, in this game, which I'm quite thankful for. As it's already been, it's going to be, what, a 30-minute video? So I'm checking my HP total right there, and I just decided, nah, it's not worth the risk of Sucker Punch. And he does indeed carry through with it, so looks like that was the correct play. We are able to save the Infernape there. And now this thing's in here, and what can it really do? I suppose we can Earthquake Spiritomb. I just don't know how we're going to take this thing down. Fake Man's not going to be able to do it. Gardevoir is dead. Buster on G cannot live a Sucker Punch, so I don't really see a way that we can kill off this Spiritomb. So with that in mind, we're going to at least try to shave differential, because as I stated before, differential is going to matter. So if we can, maybe make him make some switches and maybe get something dead from here on out, that would be great. So Buster on G comes in, dodging a Will-O-Wisp, which is kind of what I expected he would go for. Seems to be the most logical move versus that. And here we're going to attempt to get Ground Man in, and we do not. I guess the goal there would have potentially been to Sucker Punch, as I would outpace his Sucker Punch, and then maybe Earthquake as he just went for a regular hit. That would have been probably about the only way that Dugtrio could have actually taken that thing out. So anyway, Infernape comes in again, and I don't think Blaze Kick will kill from full, so he's probably just going to go for Shadow Ball here, and that is in fact what he does. But again, we're trying to make him waste Sucker Punch PP, and gets a special defense drop, which takes that Shadow Ball pretty well, but special defense drop means it's not going to continue to take it well. So what do we have left? We have Slowbro, this thing, and Infernape. So yeah, we're kind of burning down, and Spiritomb can probably just stay in and sweep the rest of the team, but we're going to see what we can perhaps do to force it out. I don't know. If I can stay in an Earthquake, it's just going to Pain Split up, and that will never end, as he will, of course, eventually burn me. So anyway, Earthquake does pretty much nothing, and now it's going to do completely nothing with Burn. I'm pretty sure he's going to, in fact, he's probably already gaining more than I dealt with Earthquake back with lefties as is, much less with Burn. So just not a good spot. At this point, I would still like to try to get one more thing dead. That's going to be the goal from here on out, and it's probably not going to be the Spiritomb. So anyway, goes for Confuse Ray, and there you go, guys. Regenerator, we got Own Tempo. We got Own Tempo, blocking Confuse Ray. And this is a thing that I can slack off on and see what we can do about it. So that looks like what we're going to do. We're going to outspeed it, as this thing does have max speed IV, or close to it, I'm pretty sure. And there we go. We get up to some usable hit points. It's not full, but it's usable. So Gastrodon comes back in. And maybe we should just go for Shadow Balls and try to get some special defense drops. That seems to be a decent option. Or we can just surf for higher damage. Get some certainly higher damage. And there we go. We're just going to let Slowbro get Toxic. Get some damage on Gastro. Unfortunately, we are not doing nearly enough, and I'm not entirely sure this is going to be the best way to get something else dead. So maybe we should switch over to Shadow Ball, try to proc a special defense drop, and either make it switch and get a hit on something else, or something. Anyway, that does seem to be what we're going to do. And there we go, on demand. Gastrodon, as you know, it's one of its favorite things to do. People are cutting things outside. I don't know if you guys can hear. Probably can. One of its favorite things to do is to get special defense drops. And it's back up to full with Recover, but I'm hoping now that Surf can 2-hit KO with that, or else I could potentially pull a Calm Mind. That would probably lit it 2-hit KO. But he's going to switch out, and switches in a Gardevoir of his own. And that's going to trace my inner own tempo. And Surf is going to do some decent damage there. I'm going to hope that super effective Shadow Ball is going to be able to kill. But unlike with the Psychic versus Hidden Power, it is not 4 times effective. So I think it's actually only marginally better. But here comes the T-Bolt, which we are going to be able to hang on with 15 HP. And then in comes a Shadow Ball, which is going to be super effective and still not do enough. Oh well. Anyway, gonna go down to Toxic here, as it's been a couple turns. And let's see, we have Groundman is dead, I believe. Groundman is dead, so I can't just stay in and trap this thing. So we could go into Grenade, or we could go into Buster Rod G, and I can't really threaten a Swords Dance because, once again, Spiritomb is still around. So we're just gonna go straight for Blaze Kick, and maybe that will have a chance if he wants to switch Spiritomb in. So that's what we decided to do, and there we go. We got our 1 kill. When I'm pretty sure Spiritomb could have just stayed in and just completely taken the game on his own, which seems to be what he's going to do now. I don't think we're going to be able to get anything else dead. So just to speed things up, I think we're just going to go and let Ape go down here, or are we? Are we going to go ahead and be that guy and go back into Fortress? No, we're just going to go ahead and go in for a Blaze Kick and hope he doesn't Sucker Punch, which he does not. And instead Shadow Balls, and yeah. I mean, I guess Blaze Kick does have a high crit chance, which is one of the reasons I run it over Fire Punch. So, and of course you don't run a Flare Blitz on a Sashin for an Ape. So that's one of the reasons I run that. And unfortunately not getting the crit there, which looks like it would have killed. D-Knight would have been dead to a Rock Slide, looks like. Right there, Earthquake. I was so sad that I did not click a Rapid Spin expecting Dragonite to come in, because I'm pretty sure that's like 3 HP. We would have got another KO right there, and that would have, of course, been more differential save, so that would have been awesome. Unfortunately, it is not to be. And also, he really, I don't think, needed to switch that thing out, as I'm pretty sure could have just stayed in, and that would have been a good way of punishing him for trying to get Dragonite the kill. This is not actually the GBA. We are keeping track of differential, but this is not the GBA where Dragonite's going to be MVP, etc., etc. So, anyway, that's going to be that. So we're going to go down 3-0. Could have been a 4-0, but we were able to save 1 point of differential, and who knows, that might end up being big going down the road. So hopefully we'll get these games coming up relatively quick. I'm hoping to have at least one up every 3 days or so. So hope you guys look forward to this. It is the last series of Fortune we're ever going to post, and after that, it's going to be 6th and beyond. So there we have it. Later days.